Hey there, guys. Welcome to Unwomanly, the podcast where taboo topics are never off the table and discussions with an open mind and dirty mouth are never discouraged. My name is Jen Danzak. We're here recording in West Hollywood, California, and it is time to let our hair down and the foul words fly. I have a very special guest with me here tonight. She's an actress, a social media marketing mogul, say that 5 times fast, and most recently, she has become a CEO. Her name is Cassidy Davis. Welcome.
Yay. Oh my gosh, that's such a lovely intro. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
I loved it.
Thanks, babe. Well, first of all, can I say it's been literally forever since we hung out?
Yeah.
Like literally years. Maybe 2 years?
I know, but I see you every day on Instagram, so I feel like I'm still like actively a part of every day of your life. So.
I know. That's a good part.
It doesn't
That's a
feel
good
like
point.
it's that long, but it has been, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the last time you were at Retrofit and you were doing your little, I just saw
Rest
that they're
in peace,
closing.
yeah.
It's so sad.
Isn't that so sad? I know.
Dude.
Part of me is like ready to move on to the next phase of my life. Like I was feeling like, oh, I'm sort of done teaching now, but it's definitely like a bummer that I didn't get to like say goodbye to my students and really have that like closing door moment.
Right.
Closed for me, which I was like, no, I'm not ready yet.
No, that's really, really sad. Yeah, Retrofit was awesome from the one time I went. But
well, thank you for coming.
Oh my God, yeah, of course. And you were like one of my first friends I actually like met here in LA. I know.
Really?
I know. Isn't that sad? Like January 2017, I saw I was looking at our friendship on Facebook and I was like, oh my God, it's been so long.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I didn't know that. That's so special.
I know. I was like, damn, I had to look at that and I was like, shit, that's been a long time that we've been friends.
What were we doing on January in 2017?
I don't know. I think I know because I'm like, I had to have met you somewhere other than social media. Like right away. I think we did, but where? Was it karaoke or something? Did you go to karaoke?
I did every once in a while. Yeah, it was always on Sundays and I always like taught at 6 a.m. on Mondays. So I would like come in for a drink and then leave.
That's the worst.
I know.
Oh my God. But I think it's just so funny how, we were officially friends on social media like first and then it's a full circle moment. We're talking about that for our topic today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know.
I think it's really funny. Social media marketing in all of its glory.
Truly.
Gotta love it.
It's a powerful tool, man. It's a powerful tool. Yeah.
It is. When would you say your like social media experience really started?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I got my degree in digital media and communication from University of Pittsburgh. Hail to Pitt.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're an East Coaster.
I know, right? Good old Midwest.
And so I got that. And then when I first moved out here, I was working in casting, but I was working on like the marketing side of casting, so helping them market like the acting studio and stuff. And then I kind of worked myself out of a job at that place, kind of did what they asked me to do a little bit too well. So then I was like, oh, shoot, now what?
Oh, wow.
So I was working for like a startup for a while in the marketing department. And then I just sort of looked at what I was doing at that marketing startup. And I was like, I could just do this from my home and I could make them a client and not have to drive across town every day and not have to like make this commute and be so stressed. And like at that time I was like doing auditions on my lunch break and hoping no one would notice. And I was like rushing across town and like changing in the car at red lights and like chugging coffee and like running into the audition and being like, hopefully this takes 10 minutes because I only have 10 minutes and my lunch break is over.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, this isn't good. This is, first of all, not my best work as an actor, of course, because I was sitting in the waiting room like sweating.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to like set myself up better. I moved across the country for this. Like this has to be my priority. So I just kind of like looked at my life and I was like, how can I like set myself up for success? So
Yeah.
I talked to that startup about just turning into a client of mine and just doing social media for them as opposed to like their whole marketing department.
Yeah.
And they were very open to it and they're still a client of mine today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so I just took them and then I did social media for my mom. So I took her and they were like my little portfolio. And I like went out on the town and was like, I'm a social media manager and just hoped that no one would be like, wait, you only have 2 clients and one of them is very clearly your mother. She looks exactly like you and has the same last name and you're like in some of her photos. So no, luckily no one noticed. So
that is
they
hilarious.
Like thought I was very legit. And so I just started like building my clientele like one by one and now it's a weird thing where I have a business.
I know, that's insane.
It's so weird.
When did you like really hone in like, okay, social media is amazing? Like for me, it was back in the day, it was Zanga. Did you ever have a Zanga?
No, I didn't. What is that?
Dude, it was like a blog site, and I would literally like talk about like my depressing ass day, like to nobody that would ever even read it. You know?
Yeah.
But then like I had Tumblr. Do you have Tumblr?
I didn't, but I always envied the people who did. I feel like it's a specific type of person who can pull off a Tumblr, and I just never felt like I was cool or artsy enough for it.
That is hilarious. It's just,
like, damn.
it is true. It's a lot of like memes and like photos and like
it's so cool.
funny stuff.
Don't get me wrong.
Is.
Like I looked at it and I was like, I wish that could be me, but it's just not.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember Kylie Jenner had one and everyone like went nuts about it.
Yeah.
Taylor has one too. Taylor Swift.
I like how you first name basis with her.
Like immediately like Taylor has one.
My girl Tay.
And then of course MySpace, dude.
Yeah,
oh my
I mean,
God.
of course.
Everyone.
I had those like horrible bird's eye view selfies of like from the ceiling down. Like, what
Yes.
is that angle? And
Yeah,
why
yeah.
was that like my go-to? Like, this is gonna crush. And like, I look at them and I'm like, ew. Like, I put the weirdest filters on them. It's almost like down my shirt. That's how high the angle is. I'm like,
and with
I don't
our
know.
like super plucked eyebrows because we had no clue
Super
what we were doing
plucked.
in like 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah. And like 2 strings of straight hair like down the center of my face. Like that was the sweet spot.
Oh, I loved that too. Oh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. And then of course, like Facebook, right when I became a freshman in high school, it was like so early in the game that I would click on my high school name and like see each person that actually like joined that day. And I was like, holy
Really?
shit. Like, yeah, I remember that. But nowadays you could never do that.
Right.
Like everyone's joining and has been on there for decades. Let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you
No.
want to call it decades, a decade, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a decade, I think it's been around.
Or even, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how like it evolves too. I remember like poking on Facebook was so cool when I first started, and now it's like if you poke someone on Facebook, you're like a creeper.
Oh my God, yes.
Do you remember? I would like
we would
poke
get in
people.
poke wars.
Oh yes, I would.
Yeah, and I would like see them and be like, I poked you didn't poke me back yet. They're like, okay, I'll do it when I get home. Like,
Yeah.
because you know we didn't have smartphones, you know?
I know, it was like the move. If you were like into a guy, you'd like poke him.
I know.
Like,
that's
what is that?
So true. I had a poke war going on for literally like 5 years.
Oh my God,
Now
how
that
did
I
it
think
end?
about it.
Are you married now?
I think, yeah, right. My invisible husband. Like, what's funny is I actually I met that kid in like 7th grade, and then I ended up going to like prom with him in
You
like high
did?
school.
That's,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Isn't that
what?
funny?
What an
I
epic
know.
love story.
I know.
Starting with a poke on Facebook? That's amazing.
No, I like met him there, and then, well, I mean, like, I don't know if him asking me to prom was because of poking. Now that I think about it,
I'm sure it was.
definitely
I mean,
not
that's a
like
power
the
move.
sexual poking, but like actual poke on Facebook.
No, we wish the sexual
I know.
poking at that age, but it was more like platonic Facebook button.
Right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in life. But I mean, you're right. Like, it's totally evolved, and like the shift in social media has been so drastic, and it's crazy that we like grew up right along with it. In my eyes, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel really grateful though that like I know a world in which social media doesn't exist, and I sort of feel bad for Gen Z in that way because I talked about it the other day with my friend. I was like, I'm so grateful that most of my childhood was without a smartphone, and I had a flip phone like starting in 9th grade maybe. So I got really used to being like knocking on neighbors' doors and being like, knock knock, hi, can Eric come out and play? And like playing outside in the neighborhood, or like calling the home phone and being like, hi, this is Cassidy, is Alicia around? Like, I think that's such a valuable like part of our childhood, and I'm so grateful to have it because I think nowadays people are so attached to their phones at such a young age, and I worry about that a little bit.
Me
I'm
too.
like, I used to be so creative. I would like play Barbies for hours, and like if I was around at that age with TikTok, I probably wouldn't have had that like really special time. And,
Exactly.
like, you know what I mean?
Oh no, you nailed it on the head. I look at these kids like when I'm serving tables and I see a family of 4 all on their phones, and I'm like, oh man, like this is not valuable time whatsoever, you know?
Totally. And I think their social skills are going to suffer.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
big
mean?
time. Oh yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
I
they're
think
only
we
going to
learn.
know virtual stuff versus actual conversation one-on-one, or you know, playing in the yard, or karaoke machines like I did, you know.
Yes. And like reading body language. Like I think that I
Yeah.
like worry a little bit about how much time people spend on their phones now. Like of course I have a living spending time on my phone, but at the same time like I like to be able to put it down and be like, okay, now I'm being present with a friend and I'm not like just constantly scrolling. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, especially with like the little screen time pop-ups, I'm like, oh, shit, don't warn me how much I've been on, you know?
I know. But see, I look at that screen time and I'm like, yeah, but I was working, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah, true. It breaks
But I'm
it
not
down
sure
a
if
little
that's
bit.
true.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much of that time was actually working, but that's what I tell myself to make myself
Justify
feel
it
better.
a little bit.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I mean, there's literally so many apps to like keep up with and always try to push out content and like keep up with people.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, just sometimes I have to like take a breather and it's like too much to deal with sometimes, you know?
No, it can be super overwhelming. There's so many different platforms and, you know, which ones should you be on and how do you do it consistently and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, what I do day to day and the questions I answer day to day with clients and people.
I was
It's
just
really
going to say,
confusing.
like, that is where you come in. Like, when it becomes a little too much to handle and you're like, okay, I need to have an online presence, but I need to be present in the moment too, you know?
No, for sure. I know. I think most of my clients, like, I could teach them how to do it all day, and that's not really what they care about. It's more that like they don't have the time to do it. A lot of them are like small business owners and they're doing everything and they don't need to do this one other thing. So I'm like always giving away like free tips and all this stuff. And someone was like, are you going to put yourself out of business? And I was like, no, my clients like don't care about that. They just don't have the time. Like they don't want to learn because they just don't. And I think a lot of people, it can be a time suck, especially if you don't know what you're doing and how to use that time effectively. It can be like, I spent 9 hours on Instagram and I don't really know how to show for it, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, you can do all the hard work for us, you know?
Yeah,
with your new company. Congratulations on the launch of Nash Media. I love that name, of course, because it's your middle name, right?
Yeah,
Nash.
it's my middle name, yeah.
Isn't that the prettiest name, guys? Cassidy Nash Davis. Like, come the fuck on. Like, that's so awesome. You were making those quarantine money moves, girl.
That's the one gift of quarantine, if there is one. It was just like, let me slow down for enough time to really like launch this thing and like get the website up. I've been doing this for like 2 years now. So it's been a business for a while, but I haven't officially like told the world about it.
Right.
Ironically, like I don't post on social media about my social media business.
I know.
And I was like, I probably should.
It's so insane. Like you're almost having to one up yourself. Like, okay, I got to show the world that I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's really strange how that works.
No, it's really weird. When we started an Instagram account for the company at Nash Media Co. if you want to follow, but it like doesn't have, we're like growing our following slowly but surely, but we don't have that many yet. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. We're a social media company. Like we should be like one-upping everyone. We should have 1 million followers, you know? But then like I'm telling myself what I always tell my clients, like growth is slow and steady and that's okay. But it is like, yeah. And part of me thought about making that account and just having like one post that's like, I'm too busy managing my clients' profiles to manage this, but like this is our home base. If you have any like questions, DM us.
Nice.
And then my like business partner was like, no, let's like make a good account.
Right.
One more we have to manage.
And you started it with your like best friend, right?
So I started it 2 years ago and I've been doing it myself. And then she came on a year ago around this time and she just needed some extra income. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of have this business and it's actually expanding kind of quickly. And I was about to tell clients like, no, I can't handle anymore. And I was going to sort of like start a wait list or something. I didn't really know how to do that. And then my dad was like, well, if your business is expanding, like don't be an idiot, expand your business.
Right.
So she kind of needed money at the exact same time that I needed support. So she kind of came on a year ago. And then the last year, she's really helped me like build it to what it is today. And now she's fully my business partner and we like do everything together and she's helping me grow the business. And she's so like organized and so good at thinking like big picture. And I'm so like in the day to day, like keeping the lights on kind of thing.
Nice.
She like balances me out really well.
No,
Her
that's
name's
great.
Jenna. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's something that a lot of people fail on is they pick a partner that has the exact same qualities and traits that they're strong in. You need to find someone with like your weakness, you know?
Yeah,
to balance it. You're totally right.
I didn't even realize that. And I didn't even pick Jenna specifically for that. It just sort of happened and fell in my lap. And then now that I look back, I'm like, oh, that was really smart. She really balances me out in a great way. And like, I'm very grateful to have her.
Oh, and I saw you have like a community manager and like another one now.
Yeah.
Like you're definitely, this is so exciting. You've got people, man.
It's so weird, dude. I'm like, who's trusting me with all that? It's very cool. I'm very like honored and, you know, I want to keep hiring women and like give everyone a platform and all that stuff. But it is weird. It keeps happening and I'm not like planning for it.
Right.
Which is a lovely gift. I'm very grateful, but it is just like weird.
Right. No, you've definitely been doing this a while. You've been doing this like the whole time I've known you. So it's really cool to see it come to fruition in like an actual .co or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
LLC or whatever it is. But I even saw on your website, you guys put like, we go to sleep thinking about your your social media.
I know. I was like, is that weird? Should we take that off?
No, I thought it was so cute. I literally was like, dude, this like shows your work ethic. Like you care. You know what I mean? You're not just gonna once, you check out for the day, then you're done. But no, you literally are always thinking about how to improve things for your clients. And that's a huge thing.
Yeah, no, that we really like take on small businesses. Those are like our main clients. And that's really who I love working with because they care so much about their business. And so then as a result, I care so much about their business. And like, our clients have been around with us for a while now. We like know their kids' names and their dogs' names. And like, we really are like invested in what they do. And it's such a special relationship to have like that one-on-one. So we really do care. Maybe too much to a fault, honestly. Like last night I was up until 1 being like, what is the strategy? And I was like, Cassidy, you're such a loser. Go to sleep. But we do. Yeah, we really care.
Do you ever look at like a page on Instagram and you're like, oh no, honey. Like
every day.
Way too many hashtags. Yeah. Like
I can't turn it off now. I realize like I struggle now. Instagram is really not as fun for me as it used to be. Cause
I bet.
Yeah, I just see people making not mistakes, quote unquote, but just I'm like, I could help you do this better. And it takes like everything inside of me to not DM them and be like, can we hop on a 20-minute call and I can just give you some information that'll like change your Instagram? Because you have just like some quick fixes and I could do this in 20 minutes and help you like really improve your page.
Right.
But at a certain point I have to like let it go. And if people care enough, the information is out there / I'm out there if they really want to know. But it is hard to turn off because you see people sort of doing the like, they just don't know better mistakes. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
I want to help.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of like how even like since becoming interested in like videography and stuff and like acting, like I look at videos and movies and I'm like, oh no, like certain shots and I'm like, oh wait a minute, I can't ever watch a movie the same way again ever since you make that switch in your mind,
No, 100%. You're like, how did they get that shot? What was their budget? That's like where my brain goes.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's hard.
Oh yeah. Oh,
do you feel that with podcasts? Like, do you listen to podcasts and you're like, that sounds bad?
Well, I feel like I'm the one that's the bad one already. So I'm still kind of like, I'm like listening to theirs and like how I can improve mine versus like, whoa, yours is shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's lovely.
Thank God I have like a sound editor now, so that's good.
Oh my God, you do?
I know. I mean, like he's just a coworker, but whatever,
No, that's impressive.
It takes it off my plate. You know what I mean? Because it is tedious work for sure. Sitting here like looking at my levels and like. He said it takes him an hour for every 15 minutes. And I was like, that totally makes sense because it's like crazy work. And that's with an actual program that's meant for that. What I was doing is I was using a fucking video editing program like an idiot and like just adjusting audio with that. I'm like, why?
I would have probably done the same thing. I mean, unless you know better, right?
Right. But I mean, it worked. It's been working out so far, thank God.
Wow, that's really impressive.
I know.
The power of delegation, right? Like you like learn to delegate and you're like, wow, that's so much better.
Right.
He's an expert or she's an expert in whatever they do and it doesn't have to be me. You know?
Right. Like I can get other stuff done.
Yeah.
But is there like any sort of company or just person in general that like you wouldn't want to like work with? Like if someone approached you, like who would you turn away?
That's a good question.
I know. I was just thinking of that.
You're like, wow, I killed that. Mic drop out of here.
Love it.
I mean, not really. Like we really love to work with small businesses. Specifically, we love to work with women. But our door's always open. And so unless you're like a jerk, we will like take you on. I think sometimes the red flags I hear when a client comes in our doors is if they want to go like viral and they say viral a bunch and like they want to go viral overnight, just because, I mean, the chances that happen are so slim. Mm-hmm. And I think that like influencers make it seem like it's really easy to do, but it's actually very challenging to do that. So anytime like a client comes in with that word, that buzzword, and they say it a bunch to me, I'm sort of like, I have my ears perked and I just like let them know that that's not something that we necessarily deliver on. Like we'll deliver real human followers to your page consistently over time, but we aren't going to like get you 1 million followers by tomorrow, and you don't even want us to, because if we did do that, they wouldn't be real humans, they would be robots. And so it's just like, that's not how we operate. Like we find our clients like real engaged human followers who are like excited about what they do. And so if that's not what they're looking for, then we sort of like we'll just like let them know early on that's not what we do, so that we don't end up being like 2 months in and they're like, why haven't we gone viral yet? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's always kind of a tricky conversation. So I think that's the only people that would be like a red flag, but even so, I would talk to them about it. I wouldn't necessarily like shut the door, but I mean, just as long as you're not a jerk.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Oh,
and as long as you like uphold your end of the bargain. Early on, I got like, I can curse, right? You
Oh,
said.
of course.
Early on, I got like fucked over by a few like clients.
Oh,
and
no.
I'll never let that happen again.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, just
Damn.
people
Did
not-
they just not pay you and you did the work?
Yeah, just didn't pay me.
Fuckers.
Yeah, I know. 2 people. I will like it's etched in my brain forever. But
I believe it. Yeah.
yeah, they just never paid me. And so, I mean, I learned a valuable lesson. I was like, okay, great. We do payment up front from now on. And like, I
Nice.
have a better contract now.
Oh,
but
I was just going to ask, you have a contract laid out and shit?
oh, yes.
Hell yes.
Because I'm like never going to have that happen again because I just felt so like devastated and just like screwed over. And I was like, this sucks. And one of them was like a web series about women in the workplace getting treated unfairly.
What?
I know.
Wait, what?
I know. I was like,
What?
she's not doing this right now. Like
There's no way.
there's no way. I was like, her whole web series is about women in the workplace getting fucked over. I was like, there's no way she's going to fuck me. And then this bitch did not pay me. And I was like, she owes me like, to this day, she owes me like $1,000. And I was like, are you kidding me? You literally have a whole web series about how like people, don't treat women fairly. And then you're literally going to not treat a female employee fairly. I was like,
That is absolutely insane.
floored.
Oh my God.
I know. So, I mean,
Wow, fuck that lady. I hope she gets no followers. She gets negative followers.
I know. I don't know if she ever released her web series, but I have her in the back of my mind. And I'm like, never,
yeah.
never again.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Screw that lady.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you did touch on it a little bit, but I must know. Buying followers, yay or nay? Like how important is organic growth versus just, having your follower numbers up,
This is a great question again. Wow. Your questions are phenomenal.
I'll take it. Thanks, babe.
So, I mean, you can buy followers. There's, places out there that will do that for you. For me, it really depends on like what you want out of your social media. Like if you want, people to buy your book or like watch your web series or donate to your thing or, read your blog, or if you want them to actually do something, then I don't recommend buying followers because they are going to be robots more likely than not. They're going to be robots. They're not going to necessarily engage with what you want them to engage with. They're not going to click the link in your bio. They're not going to be that supportive.
Right.
And so if you want a supportive, like loving community who will like show up for you when you do an event and like, buy your book, then I definitely would not recommend buying followers. But if you just like want that social validity, if you want people to go to your page and be like, oh, she's legit. And that does come with a certain number of followers, like we inherently all do it. If you go to someone's page and you're like, wow, 12,000 followers. Okay, she's legit. Like
Right.
it is true.
Right.
It doesn't have a certain stamp of like, you know what you're doing. But at the same time, it does really mess with your algorithm because Instagram will know that you bought the followers. Mm-hmm. And so they'll start punishing you and sort of like put you in Instagram jail is what I call it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When they like get a whiff of spam, they will punish you for years. They will start like basically shadow banning your posts, which means they'll hide your posts from people who are already following you. Like they'll make it really hard for your followers to find and engage with your posts.
Interesting.
And they'll make it really hard for you to ever grow your page organically. So it is sort of one of those things where when you do it, it's hard to come back from it because you've sort of flagged your account as spam and Instagram will punish you for that for a while. And then it's hard to grow organically after that. So
Interesting.
if you need that stamp, like some people really do. And I've had 2 clients who were like, I just need to have over 10K because they wanted to get like, interviews on the Today Show and like certain like level of press.
Yeah.
So they needed that. So we did it, but it has just like completely messed with our algorithm and really messed with our pages. And
Right.
it's hard to track anything about your audience because you don't really know who they are because they're a bunch of robots.
Oh my
you know
God.
what I mean?
Yeah. I was literally just going to ask you, like, if someone comes to you to get their following up, is it like considered cheating, rather than getting, I don't know, all those people actually following you rather than the bots,
Yeah. I would say most people come to me to get their following up. That's like the probably number one goal. But it just depends how they want to do it. If they want to do it organically or if they want to buy. And I always encourage organic. And there's a bunch of different growth strategies I'll try before we go to buying them. But I don't think it's considered, I think potentially buying them is considered cheating just because like you didn't do the work for them.
Right.
And people think you have like 11,000 fans when in reality you probably have like 400 fans and, like 10,000 randoms who don't know your name.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit cheating. But again, it just depends where your goals are. Like if you don't care about your engagement, if you don't care how many likes and comments you get, you just need that number, it can be really effective. But you just can't have that expectation that like those people will ever be around to do anything you want them to do because
Right.
and that's sort of the best way to tell if someone has like 20,000 followers but they get like 100 likes on their posts, then they bought them.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I love going to like Social Blade and like those kinds of websites and looking up people's like handles and being like, wow, you gained 1,000 in a month. Wonder how.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm so
for
petty.
sure.
I'm like, you totally, this one girl of mine, like she totally bought followers and she like was like, no, I hired a publicist. And I'm like, did you though? Oops. I'm like, did you though? Like, I don't know. Like, that's a little sus to me, you know?
No, for sure. I mean, PR can be a great growth strategy if you get shout outs on a bunch of publications and blogs and all that good stuff. Like, it can lead to pretty great growth, but it is a little, sus just in general because you're like, what happened?
Right.
Like, what did you do? And if they don't have an answer,
Right.
it probably means they forked over some money.
Right.
And it can be really expensive to buy.
It really
expensive.
is. I've seen that.
And there's no guarantee either. Like one of our clients did it and spent like $800, and then half of the audience was Spanish speaking, not English speaking.
Oh, wow.
And it was a podcast, so they needed English, like people who spoke English, to engage with the podcast. So it ended up being a ton of money, and then half the audience couldn't understand the podcast anyway. So we spent the money, and then the number of followers like dramatically dropped for like 4 weeks, and it was just like, what a bummer, you know, because you spent all this money and like.
It's like gambling. You're not sure what you're going to get with it, you know?
You're not sure. And there's just so many like cons. Like you're not sure what you're going to get. The chance that that number staying are slim. You have to like really actively engage those people because they're robots. Your algorithm will be fucked up forever. And it's a ton of money and they're not loyal to you at all.
True.
They won't do anything you want them to do. They won't engage with you. They won't buy your shit. They won't click the link in your bio. So it's just like so many cons. So I often will heavily advise against it until they're like, I just need. And I'm like, all right, if you just need, but I need you to be aware of all these other things.
Right. And you get judged like crazy, like I just did, you know?
And everyone will judge you for it.
Everyone will judge. You can't sit with us. Oh my God. I mean, a friend of mine once actually told me that she got passed up for an acting role because she didn't have enough followers. And I'm like, is that the reason, A? And B, if that is the reason, like, have you heard of anything like that happening in LA? Like, have you been passed up for something like that?
I don't know if it's happened to me specifically, but it's definitely is something that a lot of actors talk about. I think that that's really only for like really low budget indie stuff that just they need you to have a strong following because they don't have the budget in their film to do the marketing. So they need to hire people who have like 10,000 followers or more so that when you post about the film, they're essentially like getting their marketing budget paid for by your followers. That's really the only times that I've seen. But some, auditions will be like, send how many followers you have in the notes. So I have to like submit to the audition and then say how many followers I have. But oftentimes I'm really seeing it for like low budget stuff. And again, like when they don't have a marketing budget, so they're really relying on their actors to essentially like be their marketing team.
Interesting.
But I mean, for the legit stuff, for the real deal, like, NCIS, casting directors don't care how many followers you have. So for like the big stuff, it doesn't really matter. So I always tell actors, like, don't worry about that stuff. If it happens in a small audition or like a low budget sort of thing, great. If you lost the part because of that, then it wasn't a good part anyway, because if that's how they're basing their casting, I worry about the quality of the film.
Right.
But I think the legit stuff, it doesn't really matter. But it does come into play when, like, especially commercials, they will check your Instagram just to see, like, your general vibe of who you are.
Interesting.
And make sure you, like, pass the approval test. So, like, Flo from Progressive, they made sure her Instagram was like appropriate to be like essentially the progressive spokesperson for the future,
Yeah.
So if she had like pictures of her like chugging vodka or something on her Instagram, she might not have gotten that job. So I do advise actors who come to me to just like, have an idea of the roles they play and have an idea of the kind of things they want to work on when they go to post on social media, because if they're like, I want to, be a spokesperson for like this pillow company or like this really family brand, then I'm like, well, then maybe don't post a bunch of drunk photos of you on Instagram just because like
just an idea.
Just because those cast directors will be like, oh, I don't know if we can trust her to be our spokesperson,
Right. Oh yeah.
But at the same time, if you're like, no, I love to be the girl at a bar who's drunk, that's like what I love to play in acting, I'm like, great, go for it. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter, but I think it's just something to be aware of, like your online presence in general, what you put out there.
Oh yeah,
especially in entertainment.
Definitely. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people don't even realize that you really have to watch what you say if you don't want that out there forever. You know what I mean? Like for me, I don't give a shit. But there's a lot of things that, you know, people are it's coming out of the woodworks now of, you know, them saying certain things, and they tweeted this 6 years ago, and like even though you delete it, like it still lives on the internet. Someone probably screenshot that thing, especially if you have a big following, you know? God.
No, for sure. I don't envy celebrities for that, because I think that would be really hard to just feel like you can never make a mistake, you know? Because I think some celebrities like have made a lot of mistakes and they like potentially deserve to be canceled like they were. But other ones I sort of look at like they just didn't know any better. Now they do. And we're all sort of evolving as a culture. So I do feel bad that social media can do that. Like it can keep all the things you've ever, I mean, because if I looked at like my 8th grade posts, like I definitely wasn't like as intelligent and empathetic and compassionate as I am now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's shit out there.
Oh, definitely. And that's why I like deleted my Twitter like a while ago. And then I got a new one because I was like, I know I've said some shit on here. You
wow,
know?
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like, I don't know, it can scare people away from even getting any sort of social media. I mean, look at like, obviously they're big enough names, but like Emma Stone doesn't have any, you know, Jennifer Lawrence doesn't have any. I mean, like how important is it to actually be able to brand yourself and have a social media presence versus just like going dark, you know? Like sometimes I just want to go dark.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Totally. I mean, in entertainment industry specifically, I say like there's so many unknowns in this industry. Like why not equip yourself with all the tools possible to potentially succeed? And social media is definitely one of those tools, and it's not going anywhere. So when I hear like actors or filmmakers be like, do I really need it? I'm always like, yes, you really need it. Because number one, like it's so, I mean, this industry is so just like, you have no idea what's happening next. It's such a curveball industry. Like you don't know what the future holds. So like I look at that and I'm like, how can I best equip myself to like walk into whatever's coming with like all the tools possible? And social media definitely is one. I mean, I use it to connect with casting directors. I use it to keep in touch with other actors and producers and filmmakers and see what they're doing and like build relationships. And that's sort of the best part of social media, is that it does allow you to build like virtual relationships with all kinds of people.
Right.
So if you are using it effectively, it can be so effective for you and your career. And nowadays, I feel like even if you're not in the entertainment industry, social media is just such a valuable, like a vessel to promote whatever you're doing or to talk about whatever you're doing or to connect with like-minded people. So I get that it's not for everyone, and I get that some people are like, it's just not for me. But for me, I always hear that and I'm like, but why? Like, let's get to the bottom of that, because I think that mindset might just be getting in your way, especially if you're, have something you want to do or share with people. You know, if you're like, I just like live my life. I'm a Wells Fargo banker and I don't like need, social media. I'm like, okay, I get that. But if you have like anything going on that you want to talk to people about, I just find it such a lovely place to connect. Even if you're not promoting anything, it's like a lovely place to connect with people and like feel like you're not alone, and you have people going through stuff like similar to yours. And I don't know.
Or even just old classmates, old friends. Like my mom, when she joined, was like thrilled. She found so many of her old friends. Yeah. Like even her old ex-boyfriend from like high school, and was like, oh my God, he got so fat, you know? So like things like that are great.
I know. It's like I feel like these days we're all spread out all over the world. It's like the most powerful networking tool there is. So when people don't want to do it, I'm always like, it's your decision, but I wonder why. And like, if it's just a lack of time or resources, like there are solutions to that. Yeah. So don't just not do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Find out why you don't want to do it and see if there's something you can fix about that. I know I'm very biased. Of course, like a social media manager is going to tell you that social media is important, but I just feel it, like personally, it's so important to me and professionally. And then of course it's also my career. So there's a lot of different reasons, but yeah.
My dad's like 60 something and he refuses to like get any of that. And I'm like, I don't blame you. Like, you're used to chilling, not having to deal with any of that. So I don't blame you.
Oh my God. I envy. My dad just got an Instagram. Now he calls me all the time because he's like, oh, really? Wait, Cassidy, how does this work? And I'm like, Dad, oh my God, I don't have time.
I love that he was doing like little TikTok dances with you.
See him on TikTok?
I literally watched that on loop like 20 times, dude. Your dad is adorable.
He like really tried so hard with those TikTok dances. Like he would like study them for hours. And he was like, Cassidy, there are 28 moves in this dance. And I was like, 28 moves? Like, Dad, just like do the dance. And he's like, he's such an engineer about it that he would like break it down in his mind. He was like there was one dance, like the Savage dance. He was stressed about that dance for like 5 days. He was like, I can't get it.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, we're on TikTok. It does not matter. Honestly, if you screw up, it'll be funnier. So it's fine.
That is
He was like determined.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I have yet to even try any of those. Like I barely am on TikTok. Like I posted a video of like me singing to my dog back in like 2013. I mean, that's like the only thing I have on there right now. But I like follow a bunch of other people, but I don't know. It's like one of those platforms I haven't been able to like get into just yet.
Yeah,
But
I feel you.
it's coming, man. It's up and coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost got taken away, allegedly.
I know.
By Trump, but now it's back.
No, it's back. No, I know. It's a specific skill set. You have to be like a video editor, you know, in some ways to be good on that app. I definitely engage with it more as a viewer than like as a like participant.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
I like will go down the TikTok rabbit hole and just like enjoy people. I think people are so funny. And so I'll like really enjoy that. But, you know, then I like turn it off and go to sleep.
Yeah. That's always the last thing I do too. I'm like, why am I going on TikTok at 2 a.m. before I go to sleep?
It's dangerous. It'll be like 3 hours of your night.
It is.
Like that.
I know.
Yeah.
But some of that shit's so funny.
They're so funny. Yeah. People on that app are so funny. And I feel like less alone when I go on TikTok. For some reason, I'm like, I don't know. The things that they talk about on TikTok, I'm like, I don't know anyone else thought that. That's so funny. Like there was one where it was like, you know, when you're like the girl in the music video who's like really like going through it, like, you know, when you're on a road trip and you look out the window and you're like, oh, I'm so deep. And like, I've done that. Like
Me too.
In 8th grade, I would be
yeah.
like, I'm like Hillary Duff. I'm so deep. And
Oh
like,
my God. She is the girl. If I ever run into Hillary Duff in LA, I will lose my shit.
She's great.
She's amazing. Like she is like the epitome of child star gone right. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
Oh my God.
I know. I follow her on Instagram.
Me too. Oh, I can't. I love that girl so much. If I literally ran into her, I'd be like, oh, holy fuck. I would actually be starstruck, and I don't get starstruck easily. Like I've met so many fucking celebs, but like for her, guarantee you, I would flip out a little bit. Yeah. Mentally, at least.
Yeah.
Damn, that's one low ass helicopter.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
It's taken over.
It is all good. I love it. I love your view.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure, babe. Do you think there's like any specific platforms that are more challenging to work with for like your clients, or like any ones that are easier, do you think?
Well, the number one platform we work on is Instagram, just because it's the easiest to grow your following there. It's easiest to connect with like new audiences and new people on that platform, in my opinion. And it's a good platform for like small businesses. It's very image focused and video focused, which allows like often that's what small businesses have to provide. So that's definitely my preferred platform across the board. Facebook is tricky because you sort of have to pay to play to grow your Facebook page. It's not like people can't just like fall upon your Facebook page, you know?
Okay.
It's not just like, oh my God, I found her page. Who knew? Whereas like on Instagram, you can sort of just like walk into a new Instagram account and be like, oh my gosh, how cool, and follow them.
Right.
It's sort of set up to be really collaborative. Facebook is not that way. Of course, you have to friend someone to even see their profile. And then if you want to see their page, you often have to search for it.
True.
So I tried, you know, we have Facebook pages, we keep them alive, but it is hard to grow there without spending money. So
I get that.
It's not my favorite platform for that. And then Twitter is just really a specific one. So you have to sort of be a specific account to do well on Twitter. Often comedians will do really well on Twitter, or people who have like, you know, 140 characters or less, little snippets that they can constantly tweet. But that usually requires a lot of maintenance, because usually you should do like 3 tweets a day or so, you know, if you really want to be like a business on Twitter. So I prefer Instagram just because I think it's like the easiest way to connect with people. It's the easiest way to grow your following, grow your business. And that's where I found the most success with my clients, at least.
Nice. And I know you even said like, I saw you mention that recently Instagram became extremely strict with automating growth.
Yes.
So like, yeah, because you said like they will flag you.
They will.
That is nuts. I mean, that's great because they want to make sure that all the robots stay off too, but at the same time, how, you know?
No, for sure. I mean, I used to use this app that would like, I would press go essentially, and overnight it would follow a bunch of like-minded audiences. So a bunch of like accounts that were similar to the ones my clients were targeting. And it would just do it overnight. I would just press a button and like it'd follow like 300, 400 people. And then I'd wake up and my clients would each have like 100 new followers. And then we'd unfollow everyone who didn't follow us back. It was like this amazing app where I was just like growing my clients' pages by like 200 a week. And,
oh my gosh.
And it was amazing. But now Instagram, the last year, has shut all of those apps down. And if they even get a whiff of you doing that, they'll put you in Instagram jail for like the foreseeable future. So it's really like bad. I thought I tried to outsmart the algorithm, and I was like, yeah, but like, will I really get punished? And then Instagram like blocked me for for a week from posting.
Wow.
And I was like truly in jail. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. And I mean, normally like who cares? So I spent a week off Instagram, like get a life. Do you know what I mean? But it was like during the release of my web series. And so I was just in a complete panic because it was like the minute I should be like screaming from the rooftops that our episode is out and like telling everyone about it and like blasting it on social media. And I was in jail, so I couldn't do anything. And I was just like,
so bad.
I worked so hard for this moment and now I can't. And now I'm just like on mute, you know?
Oh,
so that sucked. Yeah.
Have you been able to really grow your own page versus caring about other people's? Like, do you do anything differently with your own versus your clients, you think?
I'm much better at my clients than I am my own.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. I'm very attentive to my clients' accounts and I schedule all their content out ahead of time, so it posts automatically. And someone asked me the other day, they're like, do you do that?
Excuse me. Oh my God, I'm sorry, babe.
No, you're good.
I tried holding it in.
No, someone asked me the other day, they're like, do you schedule your content too? And I'm like, no. I mean, I give a ton of advice to small businesses and clients, and then I like rarely take any of my own advice. I think my Instagram account is like not an example of what you should do, but all my clients' accounts and our company's account is like a perfect example of what you should do. But you know, like at the end of the day, like we're managing a decent amount of them at this point, and like my account is like last on my list. You know, like, no one is paying me to do my account.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, I like implement some of the strategies that I talk to people about, but it's definitely my last priority.
Damn. I mean, like, I don't know how you actually stay like fit, because if I was a social media manager on my ass all day long, dude, I don't know. I mean, and now the retrofit's closed, so it's like, damn. But you were doing those at-home workouts that I was actually following along for a bit. That was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I was so happy you were doing that.
Thank you.
Like, it was like, 40 minutes long. Like, sometimes I would skip through some shit if it was a little too hard. But it made my quarantine so much easier, at least for a little while, for sure.
Gosh,
and it would be so cute, like, in the background, like, your little family would, like, pop in.
Yeah. My dad would be, like, working out in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
No, well, I appreciate you saying I'm fit because that's very kind of you to say. And I'm like currently like looking at myself. I'm like, girl, we were so cute pre-quarantine.
Oh my
what
God.
happened?
Oh my God. We've all gotten those chipmunk cheeks now.
Right. So thank you for saying that.
Oh, for sure, boo.
No, I think it's like you have to, I don't know, if I don't get off the couch at least for an hour a day and do something like physical fitness, I'll lose my mind. I really realize that like in quarantine, I'll like work 14 hours a day if I'm left to my own devices. And it's like not healthy and not good for you and like not good for your mental health. And so I had to learn to like get off the couch.
Nice. No, good for you.
It's hard.
No, yeah. I mean, how are you still able to like audition for gigs too during all of this? You know, like do you have certain days where you're like, oh my God, I have to be doing all of this for my clients, but shit, you know, I got a rehearsal or I got an audition to go to. It's like, how do you balance all of that? Yeah,
well, the good thing about like owning your own business is that you get to make your own schedule. So when I take on clients, like I'm very honest about like I'm an actor and that's my first priority and like that's what I do. So they all know that, and I think it actually works to their benefit because being an actor really helps me like use their brand voice on social media, like tap into their voice and then comment as them and respond as them. So I'm often like acting as my clients on social media. And so being an actor really helps that.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's both a plus and a minus because of course, sometimes my schedule is unpredictable, but I think I try to make up for that by doing really good work and being really responsible with all my meetings that I have with clients so that when I need to reschedule them for an audition or something, they're very flexible with me. And a lot of them are also small businesses working from home, that sort of thing. So they really get it. So I'm really lucky to have really loving, supportive clients. And they're all like extremely supportive of my acting career. And like really, yeah. So I'm really lucky with that. So if I get an audition and I have a meeting, I'll often just like push the meeting back a day or something so I can focus on that audition. That's what I did this afternoon.
Nice.
So I'm really lucky for that. And then now I have a lovely team that's very supportive and helpful. And so if I need to take the day off to be on set, they can help me pick up the slack if I need to. But ultimately, I try to set it up that I'm never like doing things the day of. I'm never like rushing to get a post out. Like it's all sort of like done ahead of time. So there's rarely like an emergency. So I can push meetings back here and there if I need to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you seen like an influx of people coming to you since quarantine started?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, I can only imagine.
It's so weird. It's like everyone in COVID all of a sudden realized the importance of social media marketing because they can't market any other way right now. Yeah. No, it's bizarre. I didn't foresee it. And I was like worried my business was going to shut down because I had some clients at the beginning pause my service because they were in-person businesses. So they're like, there's no need for us we can't open our doors. And so I had like, basically my income got cut in half the first month of quarantine, and I started panicking. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go under.
Yeah.
But it sort of ended up balancing itself out. But yeah, no, I think since quarantine began, both like small businesses or just people in general have realized the importance of social media marketing, and other non-businesses, just humans, have been like, you know what I've always wanted to do? Learn more about Instagram. So I'm getting a lot of like those influx of just like questions and stuff. And I actually made a class in quarantine because I got the question, like, how do I get more followers? 1,000 times.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Since COVID began. And I was like, oh my God, I need to just like address this in like a Zoom class or something so I can just like be done with this question.
I think I caught a glimpse of that when you were like, you went live or something on there.
Yeah.
I think I did see a little bit of that.
Yeah, I just kept getting the question. I was like, all right, I hear you all. I'll make a class and I'll talk about it. And there you go.
Right.
There's your answer.
It's so nice of you to actually give out advice for free. You're not like, oh, well, sign up to learn more, even though it's only a little bit, like one little snippet of what you can learn. You know, you actually do give quite a bit of an experience for very little, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's very nice of you to do, because a lot of people would be like, oh, hell no, I'm not telling you shit, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I can help, I try to. And if I have the time for it, like, of course, I try to, you know, it's all like, it's weirdly just all in my brain at this point. So me telling you for 15 minutes, like some strategies, it's way faster than you having to do the Google research and finding out what strategies are actually legit or what's spam on a blog somewhere. It's just easier for me to just tell you. So I'm happy to do it if I can.
How do you feel about filters? Like, I need to know.
Good question.
Like all these chicks and their filters. I'm like, girl, like you're pretty without it, you know?
Yes, 100%. No, one of the number one trends of Instagram for 2020 has been authenticity. And I don't think it's going anywhere. So authenticity has been like, there's been a huge push for it. And so I think honestly, like gone are the days. Sorry, that dog is so loud.
I know. What kind of dog is that? It sounds like a little chihuahua or something.
I don't know, man.
Cute.
I thought my building was quiet.
You're great, babe. It's a dog. It's awesome.
But yeah, so authenticity has like been the number one trend of this year, and I think it'll stick around. So honestly, like gone are the days of like influencers posting like gorgeous photos with a huge filter of like them on a cliff with like a coffee in their hand and their baby on their hip, and they're like, I'm killing it. Like sort of like that vibe of social media was like last year and the years before that. And now this year, people are really here for the authenticity. Like, you know, Chrissy Teigen is like my prime example of this. She's just so like authentically her. She posts like makeupless selfies. Kristen Bell will like post about her kids like had a tapeworm or something she's posting about it. And she's being like, am I a bad mom? I don't know.
Right.
And people are really like here for that these days. So I think like, and I love that. That makes social media way more fun than trying to pretend like it's your highlight reel and that you're killing it. And so nowadays people are posting like, I'm struggling today and I'm in a depressed funk and I'm really like having a hard time and what are you guys doing? And those posts are getting like huge engagement because I think people are just like, oh my God, you are too? I thought I was the only one, you know?
Oh yeah.
So I really think like we're transitioning away from Instagram being everyone's highlight reel into Instagram being like a place for genuine connection. And I absolutely love that. So in terms of filters, I mean, if you want to add a little filter here and there to like make the colors pop or, you know, make your teeth whiter, like go for it. But I really think you don't have to, especially now. The authentic, like real content is performing better than I've ever seen it. And so some of my clients, we do filters, but a lot of them we don't. A lot of them, they're just like really authentically them to the point where like if you saw them on the street, you would be like, that I know you, I know what you look like, I know what you stand for, and I loved your thing about this. And so that's been way better just in terms of engagement rates and followers and also in terms of sales. Like being authentic has actually led to more sales for some of my clients.
Interesting. That's great.
Yeah. Because like when, you know, they share about a time they failed and they're like a business coach and you're like, oh my God, cool. And you failed then and now you have a business. Like I want to learn more about you.
Right,
you know?
right.
It really does like convert. And I get why it converts, you know?
Oh yeah. No, I'm so glad to hear that more people are actually loving authenticity rather than all the fake shit. Cause it's just, it gets old, man. You can, oh my God, like you can see a Facetune from a mile away. 100%. And it's like, dude, like why? I've never touched Facetune in my fucking life. I'm not going to lie.
No, I mean, I don't understand it because I'm like, what's your long-term plan? Because you
are you trying to catfish like every guy that comes your way? Like I'm so curious.
Because you can't live on Instagram. Like, there's going to come a time when they're going to see you in real life and they're going to be like, what? I thought her she looked so different, you know?
Right.
I never understood that. I'm
No,
like, I
neither
get
did
like a
I.
little pop here and there if you're like having a bad hair day and whatever, you need to like brighten the colors or whatever. I do it. I do like a little pop.
Yeah.
But I'm never like changing my entire look because then I
Right.
feel like, well, first of all, I feel like my friends would immediately comment and be like, this isn't you.
Right.
And I'd be like, okay, great.
You're like, oh shit. Because one of my coworkers actually, like, she has like a lot of acne scars, and not a single one of them is shown like on social media. And I'm like,
Wow.
that's really sad that you're so insecure. Like, you're gorgeous, but like,
Yeah.
like, fuck, like, who's gonna believe that if they actually know you? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see what the point is in that.
No,
I don't
100%.
know.
And yeah, and I think that they're like, you could really share about that. And a lot of people have that, you know, she's not
Yeah.
alone.
Right. Oh,
So
yeah.
it could be really like lovely for her to like, you know, find a place where she feels comfortable talking about it and potentially find a community of people who will support her.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, that's mental health on Instagram has been like, people are talking about it now more than ever. And it's been
Thank
such a
God.
lovely, yeah. And TikTok especially, you know, people are just really talking about like, yeah, I'm depressed and like, this is what I'm going through. And it's just
Yeah.
very cool. I like really like my hat is off to the people who are authentically them on Instagram, and you can always tell, and I always relate to those people so much more. Like I
Oh,
feel like I
yeah.
know Chrissy Teigen from how she is on Instagram.
I love her. It's so sad what happened with her baby. Like, oh my
So I like felt like like I was emotional about it because of how much she was posting about it.
Right.
I was like invested.
Right,
You know? And
right.
so when that happened, I was like, oh my God, I like am gonna cry.
Right.
Because I feel like she's my friend, you know,
Right.
because she's so authentic. And I also, but like when she posted that, so many people commented and said, like, you know, I've had a miscarriage. No one talks about this. It's so
Mm-hmm.
painful. Thank you for like using your platform to talk about and normalize this so that other mothers don't feel ashamed when this happens to them. Because like most of the time, it's not the mother's fault. It just happens. You know what I mean?
It happens so much, dude.
So much, but we never talk about it.
Yeah, that is weird.
Right?
We only talk about like the successes.
Yeah. And it's like a sort of like a shameful thing. And I feel like mothers often feel blamed for it. And it's just like, so for her to, again, use her platform for authenticity in that way, she's like, you know, create a whole community of mothers and like made a lot of women feel very like seen just from
Right.
Instagram.
Right.
I'm like, that's why this shit is so powerful. I
Right?
swear it's not just me who thinks this.
It was just so sad because I was like following her on Twitter too, and like seeing that she was in the hospital. I'm like, oh, this can't be good.
I know, but she was
I was like,
posting like
oh,
on her Instagram story from the hospital, and she was like, "It's all good, like just a
Right.
checkup, like no big deal, no big deal, no big deal."
And then all
like
of a sudden it's like, and that's
Yeah.
it's a big wake up call. It could happen to literally any woman, you know?
Anyone.
Any age, any time. That's also a little worry of mine of like ever
Really?
having kids, and like,
Yeah.
what if it like ends up miscarrying at like 9 months? Like, it's so sad.
yeah,
But yeah,
think
yeah,
that
she's
sticks
a
with
good
people.
one. Who did you else did you say? Kristen Bell. She's so pretty and so good.
yeah, but she's gorgeous, but she's often posting makeupless like selfie videos on her story of just
Yeah.
like walking through her house, and like she did a whole story about her dog pooped behind the like her dryer, and she had to like take out the dryer and go behind it and clean the poop, and I was like,
How does that even?
Kristen Bell, like she is like on a red carpet tomorrow, and
Right,
like today
right.
she's cleaning shit out of her laundry room. I was like, that is the most real thing. I just respected her so much. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because a lot of actresses will never post that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, no, yeah.
They're like red
Oh,
carpet
God.
photos only. You know,
Right, right. I have to have my makeup on before I even get close to going out the door, at least. You know,
100%. And
God,
I get
could never
that,
be like that.
but I can never
get
be
it,
like
but
that
I
either.
couldn't. Yeah.
No, I'm like way more in that court. Like I love that, and I like related to her so much, and I was like, God, I love her. She's so cool. You know. So I am really here for the authentic trend.
Yeah, and she even like talks about like, you know, mental health, like you said, and how she's like antidepressant on antidepressants and stuff, and so she is not afraid or ashamed of any of that, which is great.
Yeah.
And like her whole, you know, her husband Dax, like with the whole relapse
Relapse,
stuff.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. It's important for people to really be open if they want to have people connecting to them.
Yeah.
You know, like how often do we relate to supermodels that are just pretty
Right.
and don't do anything?
Right.
You know.
100%. I
don't know.
think it's really powerful. And yeah, Dax again created a whole community of people who felt comfortable talking about their sobriety. And he like normalized it in a lot of ways because he's like, yeah, I'm sober. So what? And I'm a
Yeah.
dad and I'm an actor and I'm killing it and I'm also sober. Like it doesn't, you know, say anything about me. It's just a part of who I am.
Right.
It's so beautiful to use his platform like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that whole family, I'm like a huge
I know.
fan.
They're so cute.
They're so cute.
I do love how they actually like bleep out their kids' faces.
Yeah.
You know, I do
Yeah.
appreciate that because you know you never know if they want to actually be on the internet. You know.
Totally. Yeah. And I also worry, like, you know, they're so well known. Dax will often talk about how he's worried, like, people will come into the house or whatever. So I think it's really smart for them as parents to I don't know what their kids look like, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But then again, look at the Kardashians. We know all of them.
I know, but it's like dangerous,
It is so dangerous.
I don't know. I'm not a mom, so I can't tell, but I like part of me sees what, Chrissy Teigen does, and I know her kids, what they look like intimately. And then Kristen Bell, and I'm sort of like, I don't know what I'll do when I have kids, if I'm ever in like that big of a spotlight, which who knows, but like, I don't know what I will do, but I respect both both their decisions, but I don't know what the right thing to do there is,
And it's also like how Kim, in relation to like the whole social media thing, she obviously had that huge robbery in Paris based on her, posting on social media where she was at.
Yep.
And I love how I say social instead of social. That's such a bad habit. Like with the random L in there.
Social. What is that?
Social media.
Is that your Midwest coming
I don't
out?
know what's going on. But the poor girl, like, pretty much posted exactly where she was and where she was staying. And then next thing you know, she's getting robbed. And, like, so now she realizes, oh, I have to post later on of where I was at, and that's a smart little tidbit. I've always followed that now.
Oh, 100. Yeah, I think everyone should.
Yeah.
I like have had like 1 or 2 Instagram stalkers, and I'm like, great.
Really?
Mainly just one, but he like was showing up in my neighborhood. It was just like really freaky. Yeah. All of a sudden he was just like in my neighborhood. And cause I'm like also try to be really authentic on social media. And so I'm like always posting where I am and didn't even think about it. And then like he was like he would be like DMing me that he was like at the spots that I was at, like, or he was just there, or like I like walked in somewhere and he's like, did I just see you there? And I was like, what? And
without even saying where you were yet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
I started getting really freaked out.
Yeah, that is so scary.
Yeah. So I've like blocked him, but
oh my God.
Yeah, you should just be really careful about that. Because you are. I mean, you're giving everyone your like coordinates,
right?
Right. And it can, especially as a woman, can be kind of freaky.
Oh yeah, big time. And I mean, they've always been saying too how like Facebook is pretty much stalking you and listening in and all the ads you get and everything.
Oh yeah.
Do you deal with ads and stuff? Like, is that a big part of your job too? Like with the advertisements?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a whole ads like section of what we do. Like that's a whole strategy. We can do paid ads, and it does, it can get really creepy back there in terms of who you want to target. Like people who like this and clicked here and submitted their information there, and it like can get really like specific with the exact kind of person you want to target.
Right.
So yeah, we have a whole ad strategy team that's led by my business partner, Jenna. I don't really fuck with ads because I think it's very confusing, but she's like an expert at it. So
that's
I'm like,
awesome.
You go, girl.
Yeah. What did she study? Or did she go to college?
Yeah, we went to the same college, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She studied theater and I think one other thing, but I can't remember now. But she was mostly like in the theater department. She's an actor as well.
Oh, nice.
And she was like deeply involved in that world. And I was a little bit in the theater department, but mostly I was on the dance team. So she like hated me for most of college because she thought I was like a bimbo cheerleader or whatever. And then she got to know me. And
she's not so bad.
She's not so bad.
She might be on the sidelines, but
But she's like definitely hungover and feeling insecure about how tight the outfit is. Like she's a real person,
I love that. Is she the one that you do adulting with too?
She's not. My co-star Mallory is my co-star in the show, but Jenna directed and wrote part of season 2.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So she's a big part of adulting as well.
Oh my gosh. What's up with adulting? What's next for that?
Thanks for asking.
Oh my God, of course. That's like my how I know you is like the web series. Yes. Like, and it was so beautifully done. Like everything was shot awesome. Like you thought out everything.
Thank
you.
Like
at least from everything I've seen. I will admit I haven't seen all of it.
That's okay.
But like what I have seen, oh my God, girl. I'm like, yes.
Oh, thank you. It's truly like my firstborn child.
Nice.
I feel like it's my baby.
Yeah.
We have 2 seasons out now on Amazon Prime if anyone wants to check it out.
Ooh.
And then we were shopping around season 3 and we were trying to like get that going, and then COVID hit. So right now we're like working to find a home for it. To go like long term. So we're trying to like sell it essentially.
Yeah.
We just don't really want to crowdfund again for the show. And I feel like it could definitely have a home somewhere long term. Like, something we realize as we keep getting older is that like adulting never stops. It just like becomes more difficult.
Oh,
You're just like
so true.
learning new things. So we're like, we could do this for 10 years if someone gave us a home and the money to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to find right now. It's like a long term space for it to to go. Cause I mean, now we're like going to friends' weddings and I'm like learning, I have to get people a gift. And I'm like, what is that shit?
Yeah.
I'm like learning so much in my,
God.
mid-20s now.
And so many people can relate. Literally every single day you can constantly be writing out things for life, you know?
No, my life gives me so much raw material. It's like kind of scary.
Yes, I know. Same with me.
Yeah, right? There's so much like
God.
weird stuff that happens to you. And you're like, why is someone talking about this?
Right. I feel, I don't know, man. And even just like the littlest things, like getting parking tickets and how do you pay this? How do you do your taxes?
Yeah.
And like,
I just learned about a Roth IRA and I'm like, why wasn't I doing this sooner?
Yeah. I've never even started that yet, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, you've heard of it, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Stocks? What the hell? Like,
no, fuck that. I don't know what that is.
I'll get to it eventually, man, when I have more money.
Yeah, exactly.
When I have something to actually contribute.
I know.
Fucking Sally Mae and goddamn student loans. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And no one tells you about that either. And now you're like, what the heck is this? Why did I do that? You know?
We're brainwashed at like 18, then we have to sign our life away pretty much.
Yep.
And just be stuck.
Yep. And now you're like, I'm still paying for it. Great.
Right. Yeah. Same here. It'll be fucking forever. God damn. Well, I'm so glad to hear about adulting doing well, and I'm gonna have to catch up on season 2 because I haven't done season 2 yet.
Oh,
but
yeah, check it out.
Yeah, it's Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, yeah. If you look up adulting, or you can go to our website adultingwebseries.com, and it's all there.
Yes. But if any of you want to learn more about Cassidy and how she and her team can help grow your online presence, go to nashmediaco.com and follow her at Cassidy Nash Davis on Instagram and check out her adulting web series. It's so good. But thank you so much for being here, babe.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy you liked it. But I am Jen Danzak, and I will see you next time here on Unwomanly.